Hello everyone, all you LaserDisc fans out there and anyone who is a fan of science fiction, especially that on the little more quirky side, will enjoy this. I am over the moon excited. This is one of the favorite things that I have in any of my collections now. I knocked off one of my remaining Holy Grail LaserDisc box sets, one that I genuinely thought out of all those I was unlikely to ever own. Never see it. I'm going to unveil it here. It is the LEXX, the Dark Zone Stories Japanese LaserDisc box set. There's the front and the back. And this is the entire first season of LEXX, the 4 TV movies. So it's basically a 4 movie box set. This was only released in Japan and Germany. And obviously, I can't use PAL LaserDisc for multiple reasons. Don't have a player, whatever. It's a little bit easier to find, but that one is still rare and expensive. But then the Japanese one is even more rare and even more expensive, and one that I never ever come across, ever. This is one of those that I would check constantly, just randomly while I'm working on other stuff. Type into eBay or Yahoo Japan or whatever, just LEXX LaserDisc. Occasionally the German one would pop up, maybe. That was it. This has never ever popped up before for me. Blown away. I love LEXX. It's one of those, out of all the shows that I have an attachment to and really, really enjoy, this is probably the one that I understand the most why some people don't like it. It's definitely not going to be to everyone's taste. You have to appreciate the sense of humor that it has, although it's very well known for its very quirky and sexual humor. Sometimes I think people, just by reputation, think that's all there is to LEXX. It is a lot more than that. It is also a really interesting, fascinating sci-fi series, fairly dark at moments, interesting characters, and just you have to enjoy its weird humor and the bizarre nature of it to really like it. If that's not to your taste, you're not gonna like LEXX. That is to my taste. Amanda says it's because I'm German, and this is a German co-production with Canada, and yeah, absolutely love it. A lot of German actors are in here. This is the first 4 movies. That's Eva Habermann playing the first Zev, and then we get Xenia Seberg later on playing the next Zev the next. But yeah, these are just fantastic, and these 4 movies are considered sort of the more fascinating titles from a lot of people because it's a little bit lighter on the quirky humor, a little bit, and it's a little different from when it went to series, when it became episodic. It's a little different tone, and Xenia Seberg fit those better than Eva Habermann did, but she is better for the slightly, a little bit darker, a little more at times serious tone of the movies. A little different. So the change in Zevs actually worked for the structure and tone of the series. These are just fantastic. I love them. I won't talk too much more about LEXX because eventually I'm going to do a video talking all about LEXX, like a series review and that kind of stuff. But yeah, so this box set, I genuinely thought I was never going to own this. This is amazing. I am so excited, just blown away that I have this at all. And it's in fantastic condition. 3 out of the 4 discs were sealed even, so it was barely open. And of course you get the insert, pictures of the discs, some information on the cast and the 4 movies. This is just incredible, amazing. Yeah, I was just can't believe how beautiful this is. There's the first movie of LEXX. This is the start. I Worship His Shadow. The back of the disc there. And I just watched the first 2 yesterday. Like as soon as I came home, like that's all I wanted to do was just open these and check it out. And oh man, just fantastic. They exceeded my expectation in quality as well, because you never know, depending on who puts it out and what's going on. Especially with TV series, you never quite know how good it's gonna, the presentation is gonna be on LaserDisc in comparison to some later, DVD releases or Blu-ray or whatever. Sometimes it's on par, sometimes it's a lot less. But these, I'd say, from what I watched the first 2. So I watched Worship His Shadow, and then this one is amazing with Tim Curry, who really sells this volume. We had Dark Zone Stories, Episode 2, Supernova, which is fantastic, and I actually have to put two fingers over part of here because this is the uncut version. There have been releases in the past, especially in the US, of LEXX being cut for some of the nudity and things like that, and that's usually all it's really cut is some of the nudity, not a whole lot else. Yeah, so this one, Tim Curry, not spoiling anything. The Poet Man is just fantastic in here. He is just his glorious self, and this is such a great second entry. I watched both of these, and I would say video quality wise, it's better than what I've seen on VHS, better than what I've seen for streaming services. It's at least equal to the lesser DVD releases, because I'll show you, I'm going to get into my LEXX collection a bit here too. There are a couple different releases, and they are at least on par, if not a little bit better than the Echo Bridge releases. Not as good as the more individual older releases that were released in Canada especially. Those are definitely better picture quality wise, but it's pretty high up there as far as LEXX releases picture quality wise, and sound wise this is my favorite release, having watched the 4 movies in particular on multiple formats. Sound wise, this is the champion as far as what's been released of LEXX so far, and video wise it's right in the mix. It's not the best, but it is better than some other ones. And then the other two, which I have not had a chance to watch yet, I probably will today, if not this weekend. I've seen them a million times, but these particular releases, we have Eating Pattern. I just love the artwork on these. And then, this is really good with Zev and Kai on the cover, we have the Giga Shadow, episode 4, the last of the movies, before we get into the series. When it comes back, season 2 is more actual episodes, and Ava Haberman is only in for the episode Terminal, and then it switches over, and in the episode Laika, we get Laika, which is one of my favorite characters, and then also get the Xena Seberg, the new Zev with a Z and the Zev with an X. Great, quirky sci-fi series. If you've never seen it, and you've avoided it by reputation of it's just weird, quirky sexual humor, that is definitely in there. But if that doesn't bother you, or if that appeals to you, check it out, because it actually is really interesting science fiction, underneath all that. And that, I think, just adds something to it, makes it very unique. And what I love about LEXX in particular is that it's one of the few science fiction series that feels truly alien and otherworldly. I always think of LEXX and Farscape, both very different shows, but the one thing they have in common, aside from the living ship idea, is that they both accomplish feeling and looking very otherworldly, more so than most other science fiction, which has sometimes it's just budget limitations on costumes or whatever, but sometimes even the tone and everything, it's very, very ingrained in humanity and the human perspective. And I think LEXX and Farscape escape that a little more, and are very creative and feel very alien and otherworldly and bizarre. So that is that incredible box set. I'm going to put a few pictures of this box set, in particular at the end of this video too, because I can't get over how amazing this is. This is, I think, the coolest thing in my LaserDisc collection. I think it's even, this and the Captain Planet disc were 2 that were on my Holy Grail list, which is now down to like 7 releases for that collection. Very, very excited. This ends my LEXX collection also, so we're going to show that off a little bit. I'm just blown away. I love these. I'm going to, when I rewatch these movies, I think most of the time I'm going to rewatch these. I'll go watch, obviously, DVD ones, and the special features and everything over the years again and again, but I'm going to come back to these very frequently because they are awesome, and I'm super happy to have this in my collection. It's amazing. I can't believe I actually found it. I was almost in like a panic when I saw it, because I did my normal, I typed into eBay, well, I finished a bunch of listings, packaged stuff out from the store to sell, and did my normal Bewitched LaserDisc. Alright, try to find that. Hercules: The Legendary Journeys, LaserDisc, rare Taiwanese release of one of the actual Hercules made for TV movies, Ken Sorbo. I typed in, it went through the gamut of just those few remaining ones. LEXX LaserDisc, the German one popped up that I feel like it's been up on eBay for like 2 years. It's just always been there. That German one for like $200. And then magically, I did it and was about to walk away, and I looked, I'm like, wait, what? 2 results? And I looked down, this was up for sale. Couldn't believe it, and just, yeah, amazing. So, moving on to the rest of the LEXX collection, get on to the main element of the series. I was talking about the different DVD releases. There have been a bunch, including a complete series box set and releases that have season 1 and 2 together and 3 and 4 together, and then individually, and there's been so many different releases and they all vary in quality. But aside from some ones I'm going to show you here, this first set here is the lowest in quality, but these are the ones that are cheap. They're easy to find. You can grab them for like less than $10 a season. Sometimes season 4 goes for more like 20 or 30 occasionally, because it's a little bit harder to find. Season 4 in general is harder to find in just about every region than the other seasons. But we have this version here, LEXX. This is season 1. Which, again, talking about quality, the artwork on the front, which is cool, but it has the wrong Zev, who's not even in season 1. Then we have season 2, season 3, and season 4, which is, I think, the nicest cover. But these are the Echo Bridge releases. And again, these are ones you can find a set with these two together and these two together, and there's two different, I think, complete series sets. My brother has one, a really weird looking one with Kai on the cover with a sword, a weird fantasy series or something. But anyway, these are just a great way of just, alright, I have the series, I have it in my collection to watch, I have it. So these are the way to go if you just kind of want to check the series out. You don't want to put a lot of money down. You're not like a sci-fi collector or anything like that. You just want to grab a copy of the series. Look for the Echo Bridge releases. They are the lowest quality releases, but they do contain most of the extra features. I think there's a couple that are missing from some of the other ones. No, actually, most of the extra features are missing in these. Sorry, and I was trying to think of the different. There's so many different releases of LEXX. Most of the extra features are missing from the Echo Bridge, but it's a good way to just have the series. And talking about better quality, extra features, that kind of stuff, I did have some other releases because of that factor, or I have the 4 original movies, the ones I just got on LaserDisc. These are older releases that are higher quality, and then there's yet another release line, even older, which I'll show you in a little bit here, a box set, which is even better. But anyway, LEXX is all over the place. LEXX, we have the 4 like Eva Habermann covers here for the movies. It's just her. I'm going to put a picture of like all 4 of them together here at the end because it's kind of interesting. All 4 of these. So these are all 4 of the same ones that I have on LaserDisc. And again, these in comparison are the best overall quality-wise, as far as, they have a bunch of extra features, interviews, and behind the scenes and things like that. Picture-wise, they're the best releases. Sound-wise, they're second to the LaserDisc, but overall these are the best ones, and this is super quality to have. Then for season 2 is my favorite season of the show. It is, I think, LEXX perfected. So that is, the combination of LEXX, like it gets to the later seasons, some points gets a little too serious and into its message and loses a little bit of the quirky sexual humor, and other times it goes too far into that category, and it kind of goes back and forth. Every season of LEXX is very different. Again, when we do a full season-by-season review, I'll talk about the differences. Every season of LEXX, it's kind of its own thing. Very, very different in tone. 2 is my favorite. Xenia Seberg is just amazing. I think she's just an incredible actress and seems like a cool person, just a lot of fun. So this is, I think she really shines in this season in general. So I have the completely uncut, higher quality box set of season 2. Go through these releases. And season 1, a lot of people think is the best of LEXX. If you're a little more into the more serious sci-fi elements, I would agree. If you like more the mixture of the serious sci-fi and the incredibly creative and quirky and bizarre, then season 2 is probably its best. And then gets into other stuff with 3 and 4. And then we also have here for season 3, the box sets for these older box sets are getting harder and harder to find, and they're way expensive, and that's why I went with just the Echo Bridge to get my complete set. This is just, I have a copy of the series. For season 3 and 4, I just picked a couple of these individual volumes that had that's my favorite episodes from those series, those ones that I really wanted to have for those because the box sets were just too much. But we have, this is LEXX season 3, this is volume 1. I love this look. This is my favorite look for any of the Zevs, the season 3 and 4 Zev. on the cover. This one includes Fire and Water, May, Game Town, and Boomtown. And the original uncut version's complete, super good quality. So those are my favorites from season 3. And then from season 4, I have the first and last volume, bookending that season. It's great, the whole way through. Very different, but my favorites are definitely the way that season starts off and the way that season ends, which is also the end of the whole series. So that's very important as well. But this is volume 1 of Little Blue Planet, and Tex Lex and P4X and Stand Down, which are fantastic. And then this is the final volume of the entire series, the final volume of season 4. It has Viva Lex Vegas, Trip, Laika versus Japan, which is trippy, and then Yo Way Yo. I won't, ruin your hearing here, but it makes me want to just start singing Yo Way Yo. But fantastic, great soundtrack to the series too. Didn't really mention that, but yeah. This volume is hard to find. Again, season 4 in general is harder to get your hands on, aside from the Echo Bridge one, which even that's more expensive than the other seasons. And finding these older individual volumes of season 4, a couple of them, this one in particular, is hard to grab for a decent price, hard to even find in general. The last thing I have on DVD, my favorite episode of LEXX is Brigadoon, and I just love the way it took the musical and incorporated it into the story of Kai and the story of LEXX, and just everything about that episode I love. It is one of the best examples of LEXX's potential and quality, and incorporating serious and artistic elements to something that is very dirty, quirky humor at times. I think it's the best example, and I just love the way that season 2 culminates. That's my favorite part of LEXX in general. So I have something that'll stay sealed, unless something happened to my other copies in years from now. Otherwise, this is just staying sealed, as this is the collector part of me. This is the final volume of season 2, which has The Net, Brigadoon, Brizon, and End of the Universe. This is the last volume, that special volume. This is LEXX season 2. We also have close to the beginning of season 2 on VHS. This is episodes 2 and 3 from season 2, which includes Laika, which is, I would say, my second to third favorite episode in season 2, easily in the top 5 for the whole series, and I just like Laika as a character. I think that episode is just hilarious. It includes that and Loveliner. So that on VHS. We have randomly found years ago at a thrift store. Oh, that's super cool. LEXX on VHS. It's the one VHS tape. And then, as I said, this show was a co-production with Germany and has lots of German actors in it. And this has a really cool dub in German. I watched a bunch on YouTube and things years ago. Because a lot of the actors are German speaking, a lot of them are German, they just do their own dubbing over their own voices, so it really fits very well. One big difference is that in the English version, the LEXX has a male voice, and then in the German version, it has a female voice. So the first time watching it, it takes you back a little bit, where it just pops up and you get the theme song starting, and then you hear a woman's voice, "Ich bin die Letzte," and then wait, what? But that's interesting. So because of that, Germany got a few things that were exclusive, and one of them was this novelization of The Dark Zone with the original movies here. So this is the German hardcover novelization of LEXX, which is really cool. So they got some exclusive stuff just because of the popularity of the show over there in comparison to a lot of other regions. I have found that over the years, and Amanda has said the same thing, where it always seems like if it is fantasy or science fiction, particularly science fiction, there's a lot of German fans, always. Maybe that's just in my blood, and that's why I love this kind of stuff. But yeah, so that is this amazing LaserDisc pickup. One of the coolest things, if not the coolest thing, in my entire LaserDisc collection. Just a combination of crazy that it even exists for a TV series, as late as that was, into LaserDisc lifespan that even came out, and a kind of obscure series of how did this get a release in Japan? A super high quality release, cool looking box set, super hard to find. It is the perfect combination of everything that's cool about collecting LaserDisc, and is a big fan of sci-fi, and obviously from this video, someone who loves this TV series always has This is, yeah, just super, super cool. And, of course, you look at my entire LEXX collection. Yeah, this is such a great series. And I can't wait to talk about this again. It's going to be, probably later this year. But eventually I'm going to be back on here and talking more in depth about the actual look more at LEXX and more about the change in tones and things, and talk a little bit more about the series. Yeah, I hope you enjoy this, and definitely, if you have not checked it out, give LEXX a chance. It's definitely not for everyone. Not everyone's going to like it, but if from this video it sounds like something you might be interested in, check it out. I know there are some episodes that are just up on YouTube, not the greatest quality. I know I've seen more German ones than English ones, but I'm sure there's some up there. And it's on the Roku channel, I think, still has it. I haven't checked in a long time, but I think the Roku channel still has it. So as far as streaming stuff, that's where you can get it. And if you just want to grab a copy of the series, just want to check it out, not really want to collect it or whatever, look for these Echo Bridge releases. Again, not the best quality ones, but they're decent, they're fine. They're just very general copies to get the series. This, or complete season box sets, or the ones that combine 2 seasons. Go for the Echo Bridge if you just want to give it a shot. And if you get into it, look for those older releases, better quality, but definitely harder to find, a little more expensive. Thank you for checking this out and going on this journey with me. Check out a few photos here at the end of some of the cooler stuff in the LEXX collection, and I will see you in the next video.